Hi friends, my name is Megan and welcome to episode 93 of A Naughty Mess Knitting Podcast. Welcome. For anyone who's new, this is a knitting podcast, just like many others out there. I cover finished objects, whips, future project plans, spinning updates since I spin. I do also crochet on occasion, though no crochet projects right now. And I cross stitch on Sundays. I do like an update. It's been once a quarter, honestly. So I say this and we don't talk about it much. And I am also a mother here in the Pacific Northwest. I live with my husband, Mike, our daughter, Theo, our dog, Winter, and my mom, Cindy. And what else? Yeah, let's get to it. There's a lot of stuff to cover this week. First things first is I am actually wearing a new to you finished object. Not really. We talked about it for last year on the podcast, but this is the first time I could wear it. I guess I could have worn it like a week or two ago. So this is from Sari Nordland's new book, Summer Knits. This is the Aurora Camisole. I felt comfortable posting it now because I think the book, so it's been on pre-order for a few weeks, or like a month or so, but I think that books are like out and available now. So you can get this. And even if not, the project pages are finally built on Ravelry. So you can go look at this and still just the same as like if it was a test knit and you couldn't buy the pattern right away. Like I feel fine talking about it. I have not seen the finished pattern though. So I have some comments about it that I can't address whether or not that's true. I will get the book because my name is in it, because I test knit and I want to be in the book. But I just didn't really want to pre-order. I'll get it at some point. Also, Sari's going to be here in Seattle this weekend. So I don't think I'm going to go over to La Mercerie, but all plans TBD as they are on weekends when you have a toddler. Let me stand up first so I can show you what it looks like, and then I'll pull up the project page and tell you all the things about the yarn and the whatever. So this is the Aurora Camisole, right? This is the one that I think this is in like Sari's like first release of like, hey, the book is out now or on pre-order or whatever, pictures from it. She did, and it was like the full FO picture. When she did test knit calls, she only ever posted like a part of the detail, a little bit about like what kind of garment it was, a dress, a tank top. Like we didn't get a lot of other information. And then when we tested, we got a full picture of it, whatever. But the patterns were also just like Word docs. So I don't know how it's formatted. I don't see any of that stuff because it's a publication, but, this is a pretty basic tank top. It's got the front and the back are identical. They're still designated front and back in the pattern, which is sort of silly to me because there's no short rows or anything, and it is the exact same. You make these triangles. So I described it a little bit while I was making it, but I couldn't show it while I was making it. So it was like a semi-secret test knit. So this is Illimani Sabri yarn held double, which is heavier weight than it should be, really. Like my gauge was a tiny bit off. Actually, I think my gauge was on. It just feels dense. I'd probably use something different if I did it again. I actually don't like, I kind of like the design is very cute. It's super simple, like little lace square diamond thingies. Very, very cute. And I do appreciate like this line of eyelets is not, like there's a little bit of cleavage, but it's not crazy or anything. But the straps are just I-cords, which, then I wear a bra. So I don't know how I would typically wear it, just because of that. Like this probably, I mean, honestly, this is probably how I would wear it. Like if I wore a tank top out my life, I have a couple of these that I would probably just wear over top because this doesn't add a lot of anything, but it gives me like sun protection, tiny bit. I mean, I still wear sunblock because you should wear your sunblock. But I then also don't have to, like my arms are not out, but they're not also covered. You know what I'm saying? Okay. Anyway, so here's what it looks like. The main I think I said this when I was making it, is I don't love this garment. There's a couple of reasons, partly because of the yarn that I picked, although I kind of like that the weight, because this is not very long, it's pretty cropped. Like my belly button, if I'm just my shoulders back, my belly button is here. I wear high-waisted pants, so I still have a little bit, you know, I've got a good 1.5 inches of coverage there, but not all my shorts are high-waisted, so if I was like truly wearing this in the summer, I think I'd struggle to find what to wear it with. I do have some like linen pants though that are high-waisted. I don't know, who knows. But in case anyone wants to see it, looks the same as the front per what I just said. But the real issue for me is the underarm. So you can see here, I actually did something off pattern to the underarm, but it's kind of like, well, it's got a fold line too, but I kind of have like it's gathered a little bit. It actually looks okay. Like, I think if I was wearing this and also like that fold line will go away, I don't think that would bother me as I'm like walking around or whatever, but you can still see the problem still exists a little bit. The issue is that this has like too many cast on stitches in the underarms, and I did make this note, so I don't know what the final pattern is going to be. When I get the book, I will do a comparison to what I did in per the test knit, because I have that Word doc, and I'll let you know or I'll put it on Ravelry or something if I still feel like this is not, like, that fit is concerning a little bit. It may be just for this size, but it looked like all the sizes had kind of a lot of cast on underarm stitches. So when I made the note, and like, you don't talk to Asari when you test, she has like a person that does admin for her, so I let Emma know like the fit of this is not as I expected, because there's too many underarm stitches, so it was like giving me like a weird gap. And I did a size, I'll show you the size in a second, but I did a size that would be appropriate for the ease and my full bust, right? So I didn't pick the wrong size. I didn't pick one with too much ease. So that's the thing. I was like, I just don't feel like it's necessary to have that many underarm stitches. Or there should be some different kind of underarm shaping. So what you do for this, because I don't remember, because this is a long time ago, but the way that I did my folded hem is that I sewed it down. And so this must be top down. Anyway, I think you just, yes, I do remember, you make 4 triangles and then you join them. And so it's like the triangles themselves are fine. If it pulled back a little bit into the underarm more and there was just less underarm stitches, I think it would be okay. Like, I don't think the shape is a problem, and I don't think you need it to be like, have a lot of like shaping to make it flattering. It's just a tank top. Like, there's not, because yeah, of the way it sits. I also did, I think, shorten my straps a little bit, because when I originally did it, I did like per recommended, and she does say sort of try them on, because that's like the last thing you do. And I did that early, but I was like, oh yeah, these are per pattern was like a 1/2 inch too long, which doesn't seem like a lot, but it really like brought it down a lot. So anyway, I'm gonna sit down and tell you stuff about the sizing. But here it is in all its glory. It is rather boxy because there's no shaping, which is fine for a summer tank top, I think. And it's a DK weight tank top. Yeah, I mean, I think also sitting down, y'all, this is like the thing that concerns me most. It's like there's cleavage for sure. So like, I don't know that I want to wear this to work today. I may still, I only have like 1 meeting. But yeah, it's a little bit like, this is a summer top. This is like just, you know, hanging out with the family or whatever. Okay, so here's what I have from my notes in Ravelry. And I will add my like FO pictures that'll pop up here right now. Also while I, you know, edit and stuff. So I made a size 6, which was supposed to be a 47¼ inch top. 0 to 2 inches of negative ease is the recommendation. So this is 0-ish for me. I think at this point in my life, maybe not quite 0, but still, like, it's not enough to warrant like that there's so much extra material there. But also because there's no waist shaping and I am not a straight line, this looks a lot looser on me than it does on the pictures for Sorry. But I have a pretty large difference between my full bust and my waist. Okay, but I used Illimani Sabri in the color Acadia, and I use 311 grams, so it's like 1362. So divide that in half. I got this yarn for this test, and it was maybe an okay choice. Like, I don't know. I don't think I would use it for this again. Okay, but it is quite a dense gauge. So like for a DK weight yarn, I had to go down to a 3mm needle. Like, I just finished the staple tank for Claire Jackson. That's a 19 stitch DK weight gauge. This is a 23 stitch DK weight gauge, which is like is a big difference. So that's information for you. And my measurements were dead on too for what they were for pattern. So 47¼ inch chest. Length from the underarm to the hem was 12 inches, which is actually like an okay length on me. Like I said, it's still cropped. It's interesting when you have those things. Like, it's cropped and it doesn't fit super high in my armpit, but it definitely does cover my bra line. Like, my bra's all the way down here. So I think that's higher than some sweaters will fall, right? And that still feels cropped on me, but I've done recently sweaters that were like 11½ inches and those didn't feel cropped, right? So your armpit, your armhole changes a lot of things about how that like measurement works. The strap length is 4¼ across the whole top, and then the length from the top of the triangles, and I didn't do like the top of the strap, just the top of the triangles down, was 18¼ So all things considered, I did this tank top per pattern, and it's not my favorite. It's the only one that I have like this too. It's not a style I probably would pick otherwise, but I did want to be in the book. It was a short testing timeline. I haven't worn it yet because I also finished this. I finished this September 17th, and that's like when it's too cool to wear tank tops anymore. Sometimes we have warm end of summers. Last year, like, not really, or it was just a couple days. And also, like, I was working, so it wasn't like I didn't go anywhere to wear this last year. So it's just been sitting waiting for its debut. Here is its debut. I will try to wear it this summer and see how I feel about it, both the yarn and the pattern itself. My honest ratings for you is, like, would I make it again? As it was written for the test, probably not, because of those issues. I mean, like, maybe I would just fix them. I do have a note in here. What I did for my fix was that I just used a crochet chain into the first 3 and last 3 back stitches of the actual triangle and all the way across the underarm. Maybe I did like every other stitch in the underarm. And then so I don't know. I can't really tell you this that much because I don't know what has changed in the pattern, but it's not my favorite tank top I have. Would I do the yarn again? Again, not in this pattern, but I would love to do it in a fingering weight garment. I feel like it would be really nice. It's pretty light fingering, but it is very much not elastic. I do remember that from knitting with it, and it was okay. It just was very much not elastic. I don't want to be too much of a downer on this. I think it is just maybe not the tank top for me. I also like, it's fine and it's totally wearable. I just like, and honestly, like, look, that does not look like that weird of a line anymore. Before, it was like really like sitting out here strange. So my fix is fix enough. I don't know. I still am gonna get the book because I'm in the book, and also because there are some really cute patterns in there. There's a lot of lace happening on things. Sylvan did a dress from there. Like, Ariel did another tank top from there, which hopefully she gets to show on her podcast sometime soon too. So, like, there's definitely cute things in the book. That's all I have to say about it for right now. I do have a finished object and a finished spin. So finished object is one that you have not seen before, and I cast on and finished this week, which is a hot water bottle cover. I don't know. I don't know if I told you even that I was going to make one of these. So my husband, who is a good listener and likes to hear whenever I'm like, oh, I should get one of those, he makes a list, and he's pretty good about getting me things like from that for holidays and stuff. So we don't typically do big Christmas presents. And we'll just get each other like little things, but this was something he got me in addition to like the one other like thing that I had to ask for, was a hot water bottle, because just cramps and other things, and I wanted to have one of them. And of course, you know, I went wild the winter way and just didn't make the cover for it. So I finally was like, I do typically want them mostly during my cycle, and so I was like, I just want to, like, I need the weight of it and stuff. So I use a heating pad for a lot of other things in my life, but so we got me this, and I was like, okay, I gotta make it. There's lots of these on Ravelry. There's lots of free versions in various weights, and a lot of like simple free versions. So I think that this is like a very doable thing. This is a free pattern. The pattern I use for the hot water bottle cover is called Varmedunksbetræk, which means hot water bottle cover in Danish. And it's by Christina Sorrel. So yeah, free pattern on Ravelry. So if you're looking for it also, I don't know if it shows up under hot water bottle cover. I think maybe I just looked in the category of. Anyway, if you want this one, it's always linked in my projects. I'll put the link of the Ravelry pattern below too. But yeah, this is a free pattern, and this is sport weight. There's not as many sport weight options. There's a lot of fingering. There's a lot of DK and like Aran even. There's cabled versions. Like seriously, for free things, there's tons of free things for this. There's also like really cute ones, like Laura Penrose has, I think it's the Maxine, that has like a really cute motif of color work. I decided to use Ulyss scraps. So I got some Ulyss when I was, gosh, I don't even remember for what. I got some Ulyss scraps from Emily and Ariel. And then whatever that project was, which I don't remember, I didn't end up using them. So I was like, okay, well, I shall use them all. They were like, we don't want them back. I was like, okay, good. I will use them. So I used the scraps and with some of the ones that I had. So you can see here, I think this is Poivre Blanc. This is the Confiture de Rose. I don't know what this one is. Probably like ochre or something. I think that one's from Ariel. Then there's a teal color. I don't know what that's from. That one's from Emily. And then my little purple is the one that I used for my grid gambit, and I used nearly all of it in this. But isn't that such a cute little, like, it's just a super simple 1x1. You know, I like 1x1 color work. It's been pretty fun. So here it is in another way. And this is just like you knit, you do it. I shall explain it to you very quickly. Judy's Magic cast on, couple of increases, a color work chart, and I just did to the chart. It's 4 colors, not including your like background main color. And that's not in the chart at all, except for these first 2 lines. And then you do like more rapid decreases, because you decrease obviously to more numbers up here at the top. And then this is just a 1x1 rip. And that's all. And this is not folded or anything. And to get your hot water bottle in, this does stretch quite a bit. I shall show you really quick. You actually, and the instructions say this, just fold it and then put it in. And then you have to like finesse it a little bit, but it doesn't take, I mean, it's not super hard to do. And if you just pull it over the top, and I did block this hot water bottle cover, even though that seems like a little bit silly to do because it's just a hot water bottle cover. But I blocked it because I could. And I had the time, and I wanted the 1x1 color work just to like even out a little bit, and it looks wonderful. And there it is. Like all the way covered to the top part. Not that that really matters, but here's my little sweater for my hot water bottle cover, or my hot water bottle. So I am really excited about this. I think it's super cute. Free pattern. And I have not used it yet, but I shall use it. And I love Ulyss so much. It feels like so felty and beautiful. So that's my finished object for the week. This did not take me very long. I did work on this a bunch on Sunday night. And Saturday I cast on and did like the first like little bit. I actually did put some hand spun in here at first. And with the 1x1, I felt like I lost it all. If I wanted, like, it would be a fun use to use hand spun too that you didn't feel really precious about, but you want to use like either to just do a whole 1-in-1 because that would be really pretty, or you do a plain color with like your hand spun color work on it to show it off, because this doesn't take a lot of yarn. And also is very cute. I need to weigh the total because it's all Euless and put that inside of Ravelry, but like in total I think it took about a half a ball of Euless. So you could just do this all in one color too pretty easily. Like it's not very much yardage, maybe like 100 and something yards. I don't know. I think Euless is like a 200 yards, so maybe like 100 yards, something like that. Anyway, I shall do calculations and put it in Ravelry. But here it is. It's very cute. It's one size. It's 3.5 millimeter needles. That's all I have to say about that. Now, let's go on to my finished spin. This is like 85% dry, so this is a pretty good representation of how the spin looks. But this is the spin that I was working on last week, and I didn't even show you any of the singles because I had not finished the all teal single at that point. But I finished that, I think, on Friday morning, and then I spent a little more time spinning this weekend. Not a lot, but the second braid went really fast. Second braid was also only 100 grams, not 4 ounces. So I have quite a lot of the teal left over. And yeah, anyway, so this is what it looks like. It's got, it's like got peachy colors in it and green and some blue. And overall, like, it's pretty contrasting barber pole-y. That's like, but a dark barber pole. I don't know, because the lighter color has like a lot of lighter bits in it. Like, I feel like, yeah, I still, maybe the teal like looks consistently more like the barber pole. Anywho, if I put this into a skein for you really fast, you can kind of, I think you can see colors together a little bit more when it's like put into a skein. So let's see, like there at the bottom, you can kind of see a lot more color. It's like green, peachy, white. I think I have a picture I can flash up here of like the 2 braids before. They have put a picture of them together. The 2 braids before I even spun. So you can see that the superwash that Trisha dyed from Yarn Jam, the colorful one, has tons of white in it. So it was overall a really light colored spin. Yeah, so here it is, a precious little baby. It's probably, I mean, I'll weigh it when it's dry, but the whole thing probably weighs about 7 ounces, maybe a little bit less. And yeah, I mean, yardage wise, like, I definitely think that's a fingering weight, like a little bit heavy fingering, not quite a sport weight. So I got a lot of yardage there for 7 ounces, and we'll see sort of how yardage shakes out for what I could make with it. I don't know. I could probably do most of a tank top with some contrasting yarn, or I could do like an entirely like kind of large shawl. That would be nice too. It is superwash, so I am also still not opposed to using it for a couple pairs of socks. It would definitely be a couple pairs of socks though. Maybe Mike and I could have matching socks. That'd be kind of fun. Anyway, they're both superwash yarns. So yeah, or superwash fibers. So yeah, that's what I have for that. Okay, I've made some progress on lots of whips this week, and I'm going to go through them rather quickly. So this is my book club cardigan by Sari Nordlund. See, I'm not just going to be like a Sari hater. I love a lot of her patterns. I just, these 2 particular ones are not great examples because we made a lot of mods to this. So just a reminder, this is the Neat and Pearl or Supercraft Delicious on Instagram, Allie, her mods to do the back cable and also the armhold cable and also the underarm like horseshoe cable. Okay, all of that is mods from her. And then I started a sleeve. So here, where was I last week? So last week I was here on the front and I had just joined and done a couple of rows, and I added about a repeat, not quite. I added a little over half a repeat. I wanted to do a full one for the body, but I got a little distracted because I did want to see how the sleeves were going to fit. So I picked up sleeve 1 and I started, and I did pick up I am knitting a size 4. And I picked up a size 5 sleeve, which was 3 of every 4 pretty much exactly 3 out of every 4 stitches around. I think partly also because of the braided cable, it would look more puckery and weird if I picked up less. So that was like the number that I felt was good. And so I'll do the same thing on the other side. It still feels a little bit small looking, but like I think it'll be fine on my arm. Yeah, like that'll be okay on my arm. This does sit, you know, it is quite a drop shoulder, though I don't have that much ease on for me. So like, you know, with a button band, like it'll probably sit about there. So that's okay on my arm, but it does seem small compared to like the oversizedness of the pattern itself. What I will say is I will probably block the sleeves a little bit more aggressively than I might block the rest of this, just because of the woolen spun. I don't think it needs a ton, like it'll open up a little bit, but it's already so sticky that the cables and stuff are not like scrunching together. They're laying out pretty nicely. I could have picked up a one size bigger for sleeves, but I mean, that's really the decision I'm at right now. I guess I wanted to have enough that I could kind of try it on and see. I'll do it again. I'll try it on again upstairs in my house when I have like the right, like a little thing on here to make it sit more open. I'll decide. I'm not entirely sure. I could still pick up one size bigger than that even. It's not a ton of stitches different, I don't think. And it's just more moss. So there's not any real difference. It's just more moss stitch. So, I mean, and I've got some decreases, and there's sort of the line of, this is what would be happening in the body if we didn't have the horseshoe. It's just, you get this like one knit kind of, it's a purl knit purl line, and you decrease along that. So I think for the decreases, it looks nice. It's also my underarm, so I'm not going to lift that up a lot. I still would rather have this part on the body. I still think that looks nicer. Anywho, that's where I've gotten to. So not tons done, but yes, quick reminders on that. I am knitting a size 4, which is going to be a 49¼ inch bust, I think, after our changes in stitch counts and stuff. It's recommended to have 8 inches of ease. That's not 8 inches of ease on me. That's about 3. I'm using a 4mm needle for the body. I am using Wool Dreamers Mota in color that's teal. There's no color names. And that's 100% local wool. It's 251 yards for 100 grams. And it's 3-ply woolen spun, and it is quite sticky. And this is worsted, which is what I needed for this project without having to hold it with something else. So yeah, here we are. Progress happening. I also haven't mentioned this before, but I am spit splicing, so I have very few ends to weave in on this, and that does make me very happy. Spit splicing is kind of gross, but like I would take that over weaving in ends any day of the week. And how I'm doing it with this so I don't get any like bloops of like heavier yarn, and I have not had to do a lot of ends yet, is that I have just been like pulling like maybe this much, like an inch or so, unraveling it, pulling 1 out of the 3 plies off of both of the 2 ends, sticking them together, and then spit splicing. Spit splicing, because this is a woolen spun, will always make it a little bit denser because you're putting more twist into it. Because you just, if you don't know what that means for anything that's non-superwash, you can basically add water or spit to it, and you can, to ends that like maybe you felt a little bit or pull apart a tiny bit, and then if you just rapidly give friction to them, they will essentially like ply together. They felt together. So that does make it a little denser. So taking out just 2 of the plies and having a 4-ply bit there that's about this long, you know, is not a big deal. So that's what I'm doing. Anyway, let's go to the Super Easy Baby Blanket. Just the most minor of catch-ups on this. This is a free pattern by Pearl Soho. I am using the morning kit for this called Palazzo. The pattern as written, other than the fact that I'm using 4mm needles, and I am doing, yeah, otherwise that's what I'm doing. I did join my second to last color, which is very exciting. And I did like 4 rows while I was at the doctor yesterday. So I just had an annual physical and whatever. And and I had to wait for a while. So I got 4 rows in. That was all that I did. But yes, so I have been doing like a color a week. So this is great progress. I do still think I'll get it done by the end of the month. That's the goal. So if next week I get a whole one done, I just have to finish Memorial Day weekend. I can hopefully finish the last color. The baby's not due until the end of June. Yeah, here's my marker from last week. So I was nearly exactly the same place, just one color down. But just want to get it done. Okay. It is feeling pretty heavy at this point, but I think it'll be nice. This will be a nice, like, weighty little blanket for babes. Let me show you the summer sorrel. We are making progress. Whoa. I feel like it looks a lot bigger than last week, but I really only added 2 little dudes. Here's my progress keeper. This week it's paella because I thought it was like a really good, this is from Hello Lavender. I just thought it was like the perfect little guy to go on there. Anyway, I finished my first repeat of chart 2 this week. And so I've got 2 more repeats of chart 2, and then I start doing less dips. You do every other then, because you have like, it's veins, like one is longer, the next one's short, the longer short, you know. So that is exciting. I have determined, I think, with how much yarn I have left, which is not a ton, and I don't need to use every bit of all of the yarns, plus I'm 20, the transition that they map out is 20 rows, about even. So, you know, 10 more rows just to transition. So I believe what I'll do is I did start the next part of the chart. I think I'll do the whole, well, I'll see how I'm feeling on yarn. I might weigh it and do a row because they're not going to change that much. But my plan last night when I was thinking about it is to do a whole, so 2 out of the 3 dips left in this color. And then the 3rd dip, start the transition, which means before the end of the last chart C, I will be fully into the yellow color. So maybe that's what I'll do today or tomorrow, is I'll just do 1 row and weigh it, see how much I have, and see if I can even do, you know, 16 rows, or if that's going to be too close, then I might just start that transition now, which I can do. It's not really, it doesn't really matter. It doesn't affect how you're knitting. It just, you switch colors. As a quick reminder for that too, that is for my mother, and I'm making a size 8, which is a 51-inch circumference. It is circular yoke, so I wanted it to be a little closer fitting for her. Recommended ease is 2 to 6 positive inches. It'll be slightly less on her there, though I still may add a couple of stitches. We'll see how my gauge is. Add a couple of stitches in the other arm. I'm using 3.75 millimeter needles, which I think is what was recommended. It's got an I-cord neckline, so that's already done. And this is Hooker's Corner Squish Sock, and in a bunch of colors. The one that I'm knitting with right now is called Koi. As we add more colors, we'll talk about them. But they are 100% superwash merino, and it's 438 yards per 100 grams. So there's all the information you might need to know about that. And yeah, it's fine. I think I have 7 total dips done now, and I need 9 that have all, and then 2 or 3. I think it's maybe just 2 extra. So of half. So that doesn't seem so bad at where I am now. But I really only worked on that like 2 days this week because like I had a bunch of other things going on, which we will talk about. This is another super quick progress update that I'll just give you, is socks are going. I do have heel flaps done, gussets are done, and that's where I ended this week. So I need to get into the, very shortly after this, I think the reason I stopped also is I was going to work on them a little bit yesterday. This is what I was going to take to the doctor, but I didn't count back. I don't want to do anything other than count back in my last pair that I made, because Matthew and Mitch have the same size shoe and like same measurements when I measured them. I'm going to just do the placement for that instep at the same place. So that's the next thing I have to do. And I think it was like 2 rows after like heel. It was like super fast after the gussets. So I wanted to just verify. I will count some rows and then I will add those in. And yeah, so we've got heels done on both of them. And that's where we are. Yeah, and I was just before before the heel flap last week. So not a ton of knitting on these either, but just making progress. I did want to get them done a little earlier this month, but I don't know that that will happen. They might just be done at the end of the month, and that is quite all right. Did need to make good progress on my Doppio. I want to get this off the needles. I'm not in a super rush to get it done or anything, but I just don't want it to linger for too long. It's so cute and I'm really obsessed with it. I put it on to try on for the sleeves and I was like, oh, I love it so much. It's really, really fun. It reads so purple, even like live, like it's all the things I wanted. So sleeves are done. 1 and sleeve 2. I did them to pattern sort of, and they're a little bit long, which is how they're supposed to fit. They fit like mid knuckle, and that's what she puts in the pattern. And I love how my pink one fits, and because it's a big cozy thing, I wanted it to fit like a big cozy thing. And because I'm not worried about yarn, I was also like, give me the full length sleeves. So it fits so nicely and it's so cute. My gauge is off. And I knew that also like several weeks ago, and I was just I'm not gonna go down needle size because I don't want any denser fabric. The fabric is perfect. So I did do size 4 sizing, knowing that I'd be a little bit off gauge, and I think maybe more off than I thought I was gonna be, which is okay. And more so my row gauge is really off, but I am off in stitch gauge too, and little bit makes a big difference in this because there's not that many stitches, but you know, a little off, like 1 stitch off is like gonna be inches off. Anyway, it's fine, not a big deal. I did try it on and I was like, okay, this is gonna be a little bit more relaxed fit. But what I might do right now, I'm at the first decrease, is I might do a couple extra decreases. So you do your first one at like 16 stitches and then it's like 14 and then that's the end. I might do my next one at like 8 and then 8 and just give myself 2 more out of it. And like, that's not a big difference, but just so it doesn't sit too boxy in the bottom. Yeah, but I'm like really loving it. I didn't really add anything to the body. Did I? No, I didn't add any rows to the body this week. I just did the sleeves. And I'm glad about it. They look beautiful. I love them very much. And now I'm ready to just finish this. I'll probably finish it this week. I just want to get it done. And it's not a lot. It's like really this body knitting is not a lot. Like that seems like, oh my gosh, you're going to do a whole body, but like in the bulky weight, like it's going to take me an evening and a little bit probably. Yeah. And there were a bunch of people that did split hems for this also, which is a really cute mod. I don't love split hems for me. I did actually like the one from Witchfire. I like an overlapping split hem more. Depending on my yarn situation here, I would maybe do an overlapping split hem. And I have a pattern from Maddie Mo that has how to do that top down. Essentially, all you do is like you do your front first and then your back. I'm pretty sure you pick up a couple extra stitches when you're doing your first rows, and that creates like just the overage so that it fits down. Actually, that's not a bad idea for super cozy. Depending on how I'm doing on yardage too, which for right now I'm like fantastic. I have quite a lot of my second ball of sari that was attached to the body and some left over from the sleeves, so maybe I'll make it a little bit longer. I don't know. I love the fit of my pink one. Like there's not much that I would change for that. I mean, I made a smaller one and it was too cropped, and now like going back to most of the measurements of my pink one would be fine. So it's so hard because you're like, yeah, well, I would like a split hem, but also like I want this exact one without a split hem and with a split hem. We'll see. That is also, I didn't say last week at all, the Doppio by Sung Hee Knits, who is Sung Hee Hong. She's great. She only has 2 patterns out and they are both wildly popular. I don't know if she's gonna knit a lot more or like design a lot more. I kind of love that she just has these like 2 perfect patterns. I have not made the Dear Duomo, but I love like everybody's version. I will make one. I have yarn for it. But yeah, so that's supposed to be a 46-inch bust, and it's certainly not. And this is Biche Bouche La Petite Lamb's Wool in light violet pink and dark blue black. I think those are the two colors. And EKF Surrey in Story Weave from the Wool Gatherer collection. Let's just flash this one up too because it's here. This is my sea glass. It's looking wonderful. I added like 5 to 10 rows. Yeah, not that exciting. I did add another increase. I need to change the needles because now I'm very scrunched on here. I don't mind being pretty scrunched in color work because I don't know, that I just like don't feel, it's not so annoying with the thing on my finger. Sometimes I just want less hand movement because I have to readjust that too. Anyway, I brought a needle down, or a new cable down, and I will switch that over today sometime and do a couple rows. I do want to get through that, but honestly, it's like I have a lot of projects going on right now. Let me tell you about my new cast-ons, and then I'll tell you a little bit about my priorities for this week. My first new cast-on is this absolutely gorgeous for the cowl. So as a reminder, Emily and Ariel and myself, all in our Pacific Knit West group, are hosting a cowl for Flock. You do not have to come to Flock. Whips are welcome. Those are the two things you need to know. All Toriu patterns that are garments. I will put up a form or some sort of way for us to track finished objects for prizes, etc., which are to be announced. Maybe we'll do that early June. Announce what the prizes will be. But I cast on, we did our kickoff call on, it started on May 10th, which was Saturday of this past week. And so I did my a kickoff call with Ariel and Emily and some very lovely friends who showed up to hang out with us, and that was really nice. And so I was working on, I had cast on before the call and gotten through the short rows. Yeah, I got through the short rows. This is the Uptown Tee by Toriu. It is the fingering weight version of her DK Uptown pullover. I actually kind of think that the tee was first. I'm not sure. But regardless, it's so cute. It is a, I hope I'm on gauge. I really don't. It doesn't matter. I've got to be close to gauge, if not like tiny bit looser. And it's just, it's so adorable. This yarn is bright. So bright. And it's paisley knits, and I'll tell you about it in a second. But let me just show you here. So nice. And it's a rolled neck, and it's not looking super rolly right now. Yeah, it does. There we go. That's the back, and this is the front. There is short row shaping. The short rows are quite nice. And not too many, but it does, I mean, it's a good amount to make the neckline like a nice little scoop. There's no other finishing on the neckline. It's just the rolled edge, which is what I did for the Uptown pullover. It's not my favorite edging typically, because the way that the sleeve starts, I didn't want to have like a big thing of ribbing above where the beautiful little lace looks. I do think it's like a little bit more dainty. I think an I-cord would also be a totally nice way to start or finish it. So another option for you. So that color though is called Malibu Dream House. It's by Paisley Knits. It's from her summer collection last year. That's when I got it, at least. That might have been one of the Barbie colors though. I mean, it sounds like a Barbie color, but it's fingering weight. It's 65% silk and 35% linen. So no wool in there. It feels actually really nice to knit with. It's 497 yards for 100 grams. And so I'll have plenty of yardage for this with just 2 skeins, which is really nice. I did buy this yarn with this project in mind, so I knew how much yarn to get. But it is, yeah, like it feels really nice, and it feels like it has a really beautiful drape, but also like it doesn't feel as tough on my fingers as I think a lot of just totally non-wool yarns would feel. So I've been having a good time. Like there's not as much elasticity, but like maybe it's just the finger feel and also the way that the ply is. Like it just has not felt really like an issue at all and been really nice to knit with. Okay, the last thing I cast on, I just did a little bit of work on, and I hope to get some more progress this week. But again, other things. This is the back. This is the back of my Calm Night Cami, which is a pattern by Lily Kate France, who is Lily Kate Makes on Instagram. And it is kind of, I think she's like called it like the mashup of her Tonight top, which is a turtleneck top that has These are really great, though I've heard really horrible to knit, double knit armbands. So it's like a really, really clean look. And the Calm Down, like, I think it's from the Calm Down sweater, has this like V-neck line, the same V-neck line. So it's like the mashup of those two things. It is a fingering weight tank top, at like a 26 stitch gauge, I think. And I have decided to do this with some summer yarn that I have. This is on my Make 9, so that's also really great because so is my Sea Glass. So just getting through some of my Make 9 stuff. And I decided I really wanted this for the summer if I could have it. So I am doing this. I like when I had posted a couple of projects that I might be doing. If anybody wants to knit along, I had somebody reach out to me. And so we are chatting on Discord about this as we're making it. But I'm just really loving the color. Like, it's going to be so fantastic. This yarn is, here's the ball. It's so soft. It's so lovely. This is It Smells Like Guilt and Chanel No. 5 from the Gilmore Girls collection, or the Stars Hollow collection from Treehouse Knits. It is fingering weight. It is 50% silk, 50% baby camel. The base is called Cypress Silky Camel. She does offer it in the summer. Like, it might be part of the green collection too that's coming out on Friday. But it's 438 yards for 100 grams, and it's so soft. Like, it's really, really, really silky. Interestingly, it's got a bit of a halo. So as I'm knitting with it, I don't know if you guys, it's so hard to see this kind of like fine detail on the camera, but you can kind of see there, like, it's fuzzing up. If it's picking it up, it's kind of going in and out. But on the front here, yeah, you can kind of see it there too. Like, there's little hairs. And camel has a pretty short staple length. So I think this is just going to be soft and a bit hairy, which is fine with me. Like, I'm not worried about that because I also think like it's going to make it like a super, super soft, silky top, like summer top. There are short rows here, so you like cast on, and then this is, I assume, will be part of my strap. So like, I'm supposed to put a marker here. I don't know what that's for later. I didn't really read through the pattern. But you do like a little bit of a short row here on each side. So I finished those. I did like, I don't know, a third, maybe a little over a third of what I need to do the back panel. And then there's armhole. So it's not gonna be like this, you know, this much more plus some stuff for armhole shaping, which I'm sure is going to be like a nice little slope. So not nearly done the back panel, but maybe that would be good to do by next week to get some progress so I can get this done. It is just a tank top, but fingering weight tank tops still take a fingering weight amount of time. So yeah, let's talk priorities. I need to get my socks done. So I'm still gonna just keep trucking away at those. If I could get them done this week, that would be really fantastic, but I'm not going to kill myself. I'd like to at least get towards the toe, like pretty close to the toe this week. Also, because I think I might run out of yarn. This is not very different yardage wise than my last one, and I didn't even use any contrasting stripes in it, but for some reason it feels like this is, I'm going to be at a riskier place. I've got those contrasting colors though, so I'm happy to do toes in those, and I might do that anyway just to kind of mix it up. Purple toes, I think. So I will just sort of split my time between some of these summery type projects. I don't want to lose steam on my Sea Glass, but I'm going to just keep chipping away at that. That's not going to be a fast project for me. Just the fact I have to weave in a lot of ends all the time, and as it's growing, I would like to like do an increased section, so like get the yoke done on the next couple of weeks. That seems ridiculous. Like, I can usually get a yoke done pretty quickly, but it's just not the one. It's not the one to steamroll through. I don't want to burn out on it because the sleeves are where it's really going to kill me, all those color changes and all those ends to weave in. So I'd really rather enjoy my process and still be like loving it the whole time. I was going to talk about books. Hold please, because I would like to show you something that I did acquire. This is an acquisition that is not yarn, but it is yarn adjacent. And so in my little knitting group, which I've said this many times, our self-given name is Pacific Knit West. And one of the gals in our knitting group who does less knitting, but she's an artist, designed us a logo. And we'd been talking about it for a while because we wanted t-shirts, and she went above and beyond. And so I would like to show you, let me see what is the best one to show you on. The t-shirts may be the best one to show you on. But okay, so she designed a logo. So in this group are our friends, and I've talked about this, like, you've seen pictures from like our knitting retreats and from Flock and stuff, but this is a group of like, we're all 30, almost 30 somethings, who knit and hang out together, and we're close friends, and we talk about lots of things that are not knitting, and we go to each other's life events and other things like that too. But Jess took inspiration from one of our knit members and some of our colors. So from one of our knit members, who is Emily Curtis, she's the only designer amongst us. And so, and we have like all collectively pretty much done a lot of her patterns. And so Jess took some of the garment ones and put them into our logo with some yarn and our name. And now I shall show you. And it's so cute. And I also have stickers, which I'll show you the other color. But Jess also took inspiration from favorite colors from the group. So this is the pink logo. And this is the my colors. Isn't it so good? Says Pacific Knit West. This is the color tip tee, the dad sweater, and then the slanty stripes. Yeah, slanty stripes. I mean, these are not Emily's only patterns, but those are 3 popular ones. And like, how cute is that? So this is a t-shirt for me. And then also, and I got another, like, that's like a dolman sort of scoop neck t-shirt. And I also got like a regular crew neck, like off-white one. But this is a little zip pouch I have now for all my little knitting notions. I'm so excited. It's so cute. This is all on Threadless. But yeah, maybe I'll put a link to Jess's, her main Threadless account, only because she has some really adorable other fun things. Like, she has like just some really, really fun art that she's put that you can just get onto t-shirts and mugs and stickers and other things like that. So we also got stickers. Here's the pink one. So you can see all the things I got. It's so cute. Like, it's mega cute. I love it very much. And here is the yellow one. And this is the alternate colors. We have 2 totally different color schemes for everyone to pick. We really fall into 2 camps generally. Our cool tones, and then our yellows and greens. So this is the other side of the camp. I think like Emily's probably the one that straddles the line and will do both. Charlotte even will do both, but she like probably prefers this color scheme. This is Maya, and Katie would do both too, actually. But I mean, so will Ariel. Honestly, a lot of people other than me and Sylvan. Sylvan and I are like, nope, we only do pink, and that is the pink logo, pink, blue, purple. That's it. We do not knit or wear yellow or, I mean, I wear a lot of green, but like not necessarily this green. But this is like, they're so fun. They're so perfect. I love them so much. And so I just thought I would share that. That was like a little fun thing. I ordered for the whole group, so I've got some extras of all of them to share once we all meet up. But I got everything this week. And so, yeah, it was really fun. Exciting. Okay, let's talk about books. Yeah, I read quite a lot. I mean, I guess it was only 4 books, but it felt like a ton because some of them were kind of long. So, well, one of them was really long. So I read the second of the Kindred's Curse, which is called Glow of the Everflame. The first one's called Spark, and this is by Penn. And I really enjoyed the second one too. I thought it was very interesting. I thought that the big shocking thing that happened in the first one, which I did not find to be very shocking, is again something like I feel like it's an interesting way that she's dealing with it, like the main character is dealing with what happened. There's loss, there's a struggle, power struggles, there's like political machinations, as well as love happening, friend love and love, and it's really, really nice. I do think that overall these books are really fun and the world building is pretty good, and I would recommend them if you like romantasy. I think that they would benefit from a little bit of editing. The pacing is pretty good, actually. It's more just like there are times where I'm like, yeah, we got it. Like the content feels more adult, but the way that she's writing feels a little bit more YA. And like in YA, if you don't remember reading those, like there's a lot of repetitive, like, this is how I feel about this. This is what is happening now because of this. And you're like, yes, we understand. You said there'd be implications. Now there are implications. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know that you always need to have like everything spelled out for you. Like as a reader, I'm not reading these books to use my brain a whole ton. So there is that, right? Like that is good, maybe, that I don't have to like pay super close attention and still enjoy it, but also like I'm not dumb. Do you know what I mean? Like there's a fine line between like you're repeating too much and like, yeah, keep it kind of like easy to read. Really good though. I don't want to give too much away because the whole series has like a lot of secrets and twists and turns and stuff. So far I would recommend. I do think I started the third book and I'm like a good way through it, and it is so long. It's like 35 or something hours. That's like as long as a Wheel of Time book. That's too long for a book of like both this. Yeah, it's just too long. It's too long for a book. It should even either been 2 or been edited. And for what I've seen on some like Reddit posts and other things, like it just should have been edited. There's like a thing that's happening right now in the book that I'm like, okay, this is gonna probably go on forever, and it's making me so mad because like you can clearly see what's happening the whole time, but everybody's like in constant kind of like fear of their lives that they're not paying attention. Anyway, okay, the second book I finished was My Favorite Half Night Stand from Christina Lauren. I'm not going to go through, maybe I'll go through all of Christina Lauren's backlog, but I'm just like, I needed something that I knew was going to like bring me some joy, and this one totally did. It's about actually like a girl who's a nerd. She's an academic, but she's just like kind of nerdy and like has a group of guy friends, and maybe feels not so platonic about one of them, and they have a drunken hookup, and then a lot of other silliness ensues, and it's good. It was like entertaining. The conflict device was something that you're like, it is so frustrating, but also you can kind of see how she got into the situation, and so yeah, felt very fun. I read also then the first of the Shatter Me books from Tahereh, Mafi, which I gotta say, this is like, I think a really split camp on this. Like you'll see a lot of people who just absolutely love this series and a lot of people who hate it. It's YA dystopian book. I think that's just a genre I don't love anymore. I loved it. There was a point in time where that was something I wanted to read, and I read a lot of them. Like throughout high school and part of college. And you know what? it just doesn't quite do it for me, now. And like, maybe it's just this book. I don't think it would be. I like honestly was like just had this thought then, because I was like, if I had to revisit even like Hunger Games, like I don't think I would enjoy it as much as I did when I read it the first time in my life. Anyway, I think I'm gonna DNF for this series. I did finish the first book and it was fine. And like the very end of it has like an interesting premise for like what is the resistance inside of this dystopic society. But there's a lot of things about it that I'm like, yeah, I don't think I want to finish it. Also audiobook of that particular book, because like one of the devices she uses is that she crosses out words that she's writing. Like these are her internal thoughts a lot of times, and or like things she's like scratched down in a notebook, and there's lots of crossed out. And so in the audiobook she says it, and then you hear like a scratching noise, and that's the only way you know whether something was scratched out, and it's a little bit odd. And so that was like maybe not my favorite either. Regardless, I just think I'm a DNF for the series. But like, if you are a big Shatter Me series lover, let me know if you really think I should continue. I don't know. I feel like I'm over it. That's okay. On Tuesday then, I finished the last book of this week, which was Great Big Beautiful Life by Emily Henry. That's her newest book. It just came out last month or something. And it is about writers. They're always about writers, but this is about, I guess not always, kind of always. This one is about two, like a person who does biographies and a person who does like entertainment pieces. And she gets a lead on writing a biography on a like old Hollywood like paparazzi princess, kind of like situation where her family was just really famous. She didn't necessarily do anything. She was just a socialite, right? And she has gone into like hiding, like no one's seen her in decades, but she also like went into hiding for 20 years before that, or like out of the scene for 20 years, but people knew where she was, and then like fully a recluse, hidden in the woods type thing for 30 years. She finds her and then once it gets to pitch doing her biography to her, and then there's a situation in which another writer is brought into the mix, and I won't tell you what happens with it, but it's so good. It's so good. I don't know that it was my favorite of all of her books. Book Lover still has just like such a special place in my heart. It's like I just love it. I also really loved Funny Story. Those two are, I think, this is my top three. This one was so good though. It dealt with some like pretty hard topics. It was really, really good. Yeah, it was also like just, yeah, the build, the banter between the characters, their way she writes like a quirky, relatable character, like no other. She just does such a good job. So anyway, I finished it. If you are an Emily Henry fan and haven't read it yet, I would say absolutely this is a good one to read. If you haven't read any of her books yet and you are on the fence, I think this is a pretty good one. There is definitely some like maybe one chapter or two chapters with an open door scene. There's like definitely a couple of like kissing but no further type things. So like I just don't think like they're not very steamy. That's all I have to say. But just the right amount of romance with like a little bit to satisfy you that you're like, oh, okay, that was good. So yeah. Okay, that's really all I have for this week. I do want to talk about ergonomics, but I'm running out of time just filming. So I'll talk about that next week when I will just make sure I bucket myself a little bit more time. So thank you so much for joining. I hope that if you have not joined the Cal and you still want to go, we go all the way until August. So please feel free to join in. The way to join really is through Discord. So my Discord channel, which is linked below. You can also post on Instagram, but the only place I'm going to post the form link and stuff is going to be in Discord. So you're going to have to like go there to grab it at least. And yeah, I'm just encouraging people, like, you don't have to post like frequently, but post pictures of the yarn you're using or the start of your project or even just the end project. Really excited to see what people are cooking up. We've got some testers for the Nolita tank top, which is Tori's newest pattern coming out soon that are in there. So that's kind of fun too to see, like, just to see the progress as it's coming for some of those. And then, yeah, a lot of really good projects. I hope that you're enjoying your summer makes. Please let me know what you were knitting along with or working on, or what knit chore you were doing. I use my podcast time that I listen to weekly for a lot of my knitting chores. So yeah, thanks for joining me. Thanks for hanging out again this week. I hope that you have a really wonderful night, day, week, weekend, whenever you're watching this, and that you get a lot of great knitting done. I will talk to you next week. Give me some comments below. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up and please subscribe. Thanks.